A really big God bless you, friends. A really big God bless you. You know, I didn't realise how many people believed in the government, how many people trusted in politicians, how many people believed in the institutions, how many people trusted in the mainstream media. In 2022, I thought people were much more clued up. They understood more and they were not so trusting. I thought that people would trust honest people over politicians who are in it for their own gain, who are in it because they are either puppets of the elite or they are part of the elite system. I actually thought people were more awake than they actually turned out to be. I didn't realise that Christians, thought it was okay for government to infiltrate church, to either shut it down or to control what they did in church and say, you know, you can't actually worship God now, because basically that's what they did. And everyone just put their hands up in the air and said, okay, yeah, Boris Johnson has said we can't do that, so let's not do it. I didn't know that people were so enslaved to the government, because they didn't become enslaved over this period of time, friends. No, they were already enslaved. This has just provided us with a window into the reality of what has already existed pre this. It is disheartening and it is discouraging to see that so many people can't even see it even to this day. They can't even see it. For them, everything's going back to normal. The virus is under control. We're beginning to lift restrictions and everything's going back to normal. But friends, nothing is going back to normal. This is just part of the whole journey that the globalists are taking us so that they can see their world come to a full reality. The total enslavement of the masses via the World Economic Forum's Great Reset. Klaus Schwab wants to take this world into a demonic future where Christianity is pretty much sidelined or outlawed. True Christianity. I'm not talking about the weak form of Christianity that just bends the knee to government whenever it calls and doesn't even realise it's done it, and actually ridicules those who suggest that government did infiltrate church. No, they don't see it, they don't know it, because it's so surreptitious, it's so cloaked, they don't see it. This is where the deception comes from. This is the deception. But I didn't know the level to which people were deceived by Big Pharma. How on earth can anyone trust in Big Pharma, government, big government, and the mass media that have been the controllers behind this entire scheme? You know, the globalists behind closed doors are up to evil, all kinds of evil. Satanism, outright Satanism, paedophilia, from where they get that power. When you see the globalists meeting together in front of a stone owl in the redwood forests of San Francisco, and you see these druid-like people going across the water with a effigy of a body or a real body, who knows, and you see a program with a picture of a burning baby on the front. This is for the globalists to watch and be entertained by. And they get up to all sorts of things at Bohemian Grove, which I care not to divulge here. How on earth are we supposed to trust that these people over to our health? We're supposed to trust these people over to our health. This is the mantra of Justin Trudeau, Canada's Prime Minister. It's all about health. Go home now, truckers, go home. We've heard you. No, you haven't heard. You haven't heard at all. And it's very patronising, very condescending to say go home. Jacinda Ardern of New Zealand, she is another condescending individual who doesn't have a fibre of integrity. Her face says it all. These people have been bought and paid for by the globalists. They are puppets of the New World Order, puppets of Klaus Schwab. It's interesting, isn't it, how the English-speaking nations, apart from the UK at this present time, goodness knows what deal Boris Johnson has made with the globalists in order to lift the restrictions in the way that he has. Clearly things not going well for him with the exposure of his birthday parties and all the other parties. But I think it runs deeper than that, friends. It runs deeper than that, and there's clearly some kind of a deal that they have there. The old British Empire controlling things there. But let's not be fooled, friends. Let's not be fooled for a second. I'm concerned that many Christians who woke up in this 2 years, and praise God for them, they were not necessarily awake to what's been going on for decades, to take our world into its destiny, this demonic destiny. They woke up for 2 years, and I fear that some are going back to sleep. They're sitting on their laurels, but it's not time. It's not time to do that. There's a lot of talk about things going back to normal, and everyone's saying this is great, this is fantastic. Yes, but sin is still rampant across the world. Our governments are still plotting. There are still globalists plotting to destroy humanity and to depopulate the world. And let's not forget, friends, that a depopulation agenda has been put into effect. And there's no turning back on that. There's no telling what the future holds for all of those who have succumbed or have taken this in faith, in good faith, trusting in the health institutions, trusting in Big Pharma, trusting in big government, trusting in the globalists, trusting in these evil people. Friends, really, we need to wake up. It's one of the reasons why I wrote in my book, Trumpet Blast Warning, exposing the evil of our governmental leaders, was to hopefully break the trust that people have in our governments. Because once you don't trust them, you don't trust anything they come out and say and do. We want to save your life. It's all about your health. It's all about your safety. And then they take us into war with Russia. It's all about health. I didn't know that war actually was a very healthy thing to get involved in, but that seems to be either propaganda or we're actually going to head into a massive war, and Putin has warned that he will let the nukes go if this escalates. So it's all for our health and safety, isn't it? This could be another cover up the wickedness and the evil of what's been happening for the last 2 years, and that there should be Nuremberg too, but maybe we can cover that up with a big war. Nuclear war would be quite cool as well, wouldn't it, for them? That really would cover things up. I'm not sure though how much they can control nuclear missiles, and that might be a little bit out of their league. Friends, we really need to be alert in these days, and we need to rise up as a church, as a body of believers, and be those who do not ever allow government to ever take over. Friends, if you feel that you allowed government to have more control over your life than it should have done, then we can turn around. In 2009, I had to repent. For bowing to government. I didn't even know I was doing it. You see, people don't know they're doing it. It was by revelation that God spoke to me and said, you've been bowing to government. And I turned my back and I physically knelt before God and I said, I will never bow to government again. You might think that's strange. That's what happened to me, friends. And most people do not realise that is what they are doing. They are bowing to government, and this is what the Bible prophesies will happen at the end of time. People will either bow to God or they will bow to government. That's what the mark of the beast is all about. And so many people say, oh well, I wouldn't take the mark of the beast, but I am concerned I am concerned, friends, because there's too much trust in government, and they wouldn't believe the mark of the beast if it smacked them between the eyes, which of course it will do. It will do. It will smack them between the eyes, on the forehead or on the hand. Friends, I am concerned for the future of the church unless we come back to our first love, which is Jesus Christ. He will be the one. We won't even have to worry about looking into all of this stuff and being concerned. No, because we'll be too busy worshipping God, and we will know. We will know when anyone comes along and says you can't worship now because another virus is coming on the stage. Have you noticed how many viruses seem to be popping up? See the guy that came back from Africa, bleeding eyes, and he died. And the concern was that it was going to be another pandemic scenario. Friends, let us not rest for a single moment. We've entered into a new phase. The globalists have gained an incredible amount during this time, and they take away freedom and then they give some back, and we think it's gone back to normal, but they didn't give us back the freedom that we had before. They gave us back some. Friends, it's not their job to give or take it away. So we need to walk out in freedom regardless. And it's shocking, isn't it? Pastors being arrested in Canada. Can you believe it? In Australia, pastors being arrested. But what's worse is how people are silent. People are silent. Christians, totally silent. They were silent throughout this whole thing. They will continue to be silent. They will continue to be in denial. And they will continue to say, don't understand what you're talking about. The government never infiltrated my church. We were just looking after everyone. It was about health and it was about safety. Friends, I caught it, and it wasn't nice, but I'm still here, aren't I? I'm making a video. I didn't die. So many people said you're going to be dragged off to intensive care without the jab. Even the GP here said, well, don't blame me. You're going to end up in intensive care. We didn't end up in intensive care. So many people accused of being going to be in intensive care if you don't take the jab. Well, I didn't take it. My wife didn't take it. We all caught it. I know people who caught it, and it was quite severe. Not belittling it. Some people caught it and it was just like a cold. Some other people caught it. It was just like a bad flu. Let's be on guard, friends. Let's be on guard, because the devil is prowling around and he wants to. He'll do anything for us to sleep and to go back to normal. We're not going back to normal. This is the way it is, and let's stay on guard. Let's stay on guard and not ever allow tyranny to come to our doorstep, not ever allow the devil to take control of our church or our church services. We need to be really thinking about worshipping God in homes. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing that in the UK. We're doing it here. Regardless, we never listen to the restrictions. We will continue to do it in England, come what may. We will be worshipping God. We will be encouraging people up and down the country to do the same, and also churches that meet in buildings too. Got no opposition to that whatsoever, as long as not allowing the government to infiltrate them. So, just a few thoughts. A really big God bless you. Love you always, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye bye.